Hey everyone, it's theory crafting time. My theory about what happened to the Justice League and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League began to make the rounds on the internet. A lot of you sharing it and either agreeing or adding to it. There's not many tidbits added, but I thought it'd be fun to do another video really hammering out my theory and what you guys have brought to my attention. So, today we're going to be doing massive spoilers for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, just to warn you. But also, on top of that, today's episode is brought to you by our long-standing sponsor, Gamersubs. Gamersubs is running a crazy sale, 22% off your entire cart if you use the code COMICS. That's right, your entire cart. Go get some of your favorite flavors, get some of the waifu cups, pick up some of the clothing, do whatever you want. If you're just looking to get the drinks, my two current flavors are Blowhole Blast. It's kind of a bluish drink. I don't really know how to describe it, but I really do enjoy it. And then Cherry Limesicles, probably my all-time favorite that they've got on the roster right now. So check both of those out. Also, if you enjoy these Benny on camera talking about things video, we have officially launched a commentary channel all focused on me ranting about things that I find problems with and I can fix. Our first video is up, Is Twitch Dying? The link is down below to the brand new channel. And if you enjoy this type of content, would super appreciate you going on over, subscribing, and supporting the growth of a new channel. All right, let's get into my theory. All right, so currently in the game, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You, in fact, kill the Justice League. Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, and Superman are all killed. Now, what happened playing through the game is I found things to be a bit odd. Things didn't really add up. Starting with when you first run into the Flash, he's running around and he's being a superhero, but he gets really beat up by the other superheroes. Captain Boomerang chops off his finger at this time. Literally cuts off his finger. Now, the finger is a pivotal plot point. It's not a one-off joke or one-off gag. The Suicide Squad has to use the finger to open up the Hall of Justice, meaning that it's not the kind of thing that you would forget about when writing your narrative. Later on, when the Flash shows back up and he's evil, he has all of his digits. He has all of his fingers. Now, I want to dispute a couple things with this at first, because if you don't read the comics, you don't understand the Flash. The Flash does have a rapid healing ability. This is used to heal broken bones. This is used to heal giant open wounds on him. He can take trauma to the head and he'll be okay. But one thing he cannot do is that he cannot regrow limbs. Now, this is actually, in the comic books, one of Flash's greatest fears, that he'll lose a limb and be unable to regrow it because that's not his power set. His biggest fear is losing his legs, because even with the Speed Force, he can't do anything. Although, wouldn't it be hilarious to watch the Flash running on his hands or something like that at super speed? Either way, that's one of his biggest fears. In the comic book, The Flash number 69, that's actually a trick played on his mind where he thinks he's lost his legs, and you reveal that this is a great fear of the Flash's. Taking that concept and putting it into the game, the Flash can't regrow his finger. Now, did Brainiac regrow his finger? Maybe, but we're going to come back to that. Next up, we have the Green Lantern. Battling against the Green Lantern, you end up fighting all the constructs. The ring acts completely normal. But when you kill the Green Lantern, one, there's not that much blood coming out of him. They take a headshot on him, and he falls to the ground. Waller calls out to Deadshot and basically states, "Did you kill him?" Because the shields, the green shields around Brainiac's ship, are still up. Now, there's no blood from the headshot in general, and Deadshot confirms, of course he got the shot, he's Deadshot. But things then get even weirder. King Shark pulls off the ring off of the Green Lantern's finger by cutting off his finger, which becomes a running gag that every time they kill someone, Boomerang wants to take their finger as a trophy. But anyway, King Shark takes off the finger, takes the ring off, and then forces the ring onto his pinky finger, giving himself Green Lantern powers. He then seemingly turns good/evil. He creates a giant construct green shark. That shark attacks the barrier surrounding the Brainiac ship, breaking it. And then he seemingly turns that green construct shark on the Suicide Squad. It takes the Suicide Squad beating him down to take the ring away to end all of this. Why is that weird? Well, if we look at the comic book history, one, blood should have come out of Green Lantern's head. And if you're like, well, it's a video game, they wouldn't have shown that. They do show it when Batman gets shot, and they do show it when the rings are when the fingers are removed. So blood's not something they're shying away from to begin with. Secondly, the way the ring functions is the moment John Stewart died, that ring should have deactivated in its entirety, meaning the shield should have gone down, which is what the characters were hoping for, and the Green Lantern giant helicopters should have also dissipated. But they don't, and it's acknowledged by the characters that this is weird. We have killed the Green Lantern, the ring should have deactivated. The ring also should have then lifted up off of John Stewart's finger and sought out another host. Now, the fact that King Shark took the ring could be played into a couple of factors because it has happened before. The rings in the comics can be hacked and act differently. The rings are basically sentient computers, so people have actually hacked into them and changed their functions. So we can account for Brainiac actually doing that. He hacked into the ring and changed its function. But it should still only work on an active and living body. It shouldn't work without anybody using it. It shouldn't just work by itself. Rings have never done that. On top of the fact that when King Shark put on the ring, which, okay, we can say the ring was hacked and that's why it exists. What should have happened is King Shark should have become a Green Lantern, which he temporarily did, but then he seemingly turned evil, turning the Green Lantern Shark on the rest of the Suicide Squad. Could this be a fun plot point of King Shark not liking his team? Maybe. But if you actually pay attention throughout the entirety of the game, King Shark is the one guy that just loves being with the rest of the squad. He kind of looks at them as a family, and he doesn't really look at this as like a punishment like Deadshot does. If anything, I'd say Harley and King Shark are the two that are most just like fun adventures to be had. So it just seems weird that he would turn evil, unless Brainiac had hacked the ring. But that still leaves us with the one thing that has never happened in the comic books, which is a ring fully functioning without the Green Lantern present. Now, we have 60 years of Green Lantern lore. Maybe there is a situation in which that happened, but it just adds up to what I was saying about the Flash getting his limb back. It doesn't add up to their existing power set. Now we move to Batman. Batman is the only one that kind of acts like an evil Batman would. He's got the spooky Scarecrow stuff. He does a lot of spooky Scarecrow style stuff. He runs off and then, like, in general, he acts normal. And when he gets shot, he does get shot. You could account for Batman's death actually never having happened because they literally injected all of the Suicide Squad with the Scarecrow gas. The Scarecrow gas also made Batman see the death of Oracle back in the Arkham series. So this could be accounted for that, but I will admit I feel like I'm reaching with that one because when Superman arrives, he acknowledges the death of Batman. So it's kind of like up here nor there. Like you could read into it or you could not. So let's look at Superman. This is at the time in the game when I was playing it that I was like, okay, this doesn't add up. Superman's number one weakness is kryptonite. If Superman gets kryptonite in his skin, he's done. He's incapacitated. If it's a small amount of kryptonite, he'll be just completely unconscious until they can remove it. And if it's a large amount of kryptonite, he's basically on his deathbed. During the battle between Wonder Woman and Superman, she takes a shard of kryptonite and jams it in his chest. Jams it. And she states, that should have killed him. Because he reacts, and then he leaves. He doesn't fall to the ground. He's not incapacitated. As a matter of fact, he kills Wonder Woman. Nukes her with his heat vision. So he doesn't act normal as well. As a matter of fact, we need to create a gold kryptonite in order to take him down. A creation of Lex Luthor that Lex Luthor then uses. And on top of all of that, after we kill Superman, we don't see him actually die. I mean, we fill him with bullets of gold kryptonite, and he kind of just falls to the ground. And all three of these characters, not Batman actually, but Flash, Green Lantern, and Superman all get sucked back up into Brainiac's ship. So we don't even see what happens to the bodies, the corpses. Nobody collects them. We don't know who they are. That's why it's a big deal that we need to bring Batman's body back to be tested on by Lex Luthor. Now, Wonder Woman's death could easily also come back from the dead, simply because Wonder Woman is made out of clay. That's why when she dies, she kind of turns into Infinity War dust. So she's a person, but she was created out of clay to be a demigod. There's enough rules when it comes to Wonder Woman that we can just bring her back. So what does all this mean, Benny? What are you rambling about? Because I didn't watch your video that got spread all around TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. What I'm saying is I don't think we're killing the Justice League. I think we're killing synthetic Justice Leaguers. What we discover going through the game is that Brainiac can take certain abilities, powers, and personality traits of the Justice League and implant them on his synthetic enemies that we're fighting. On top of that, if you read the logs, it turns out that the way that they got captured is the Justice League was trying to go and make a peace treaty with Brainiac, and they all got captured into the ship. Meaning that we didn't see some big fight where they got defeated. They just got brought into the ship and captured. Also stated in the logs, It's taking a long time to convert the Justice League. And when Lex gets his hands on Batman's body, he discovers that Brainiac has altered the DNA. What if the DNA isn't altered? What if it is altered because they aren't the Justice League? Not Batman's DNA is altered, but this isn't truly Batman. That's the theory I'm running with right now, because Flash, Green Lantern, and Superman all don't act right. There's key points. Now, you could go ahead and be like, well, Benny, well, that's just poor writing. I would actually agree if they weren't constantly acknowledging it in the game. Like, they acknowledge this isn't right. If they were just letting it happen, I'd be like, yeah, that's just bad writing because they're not acknowledging it. But it's the fact that they acknowledge it within the game. They acknowledge the shield should go down. They acknowledge that Superman should have been taken down by the kryptonite. And they, what I was told, acknowledged the finger. I missed it, but I was also streaming this at twitch.tv/comicstoriangaming. So I was doing chat, paying attention. But my group that I was with said, oh no, they commented on the finger coming back. By commenting on it, you're making it a plot point. So people have also brought up that the bodies are taken by Brainiac and things like that. It basically feels to me like they're alluding to, you didn't really kill the Justice League. Now, what does this mean moving forward? And why would Rocksteady do this if they were just going to revert it? Well, leaks have told us that we're going to be getting the Justice League back. I've heard conflicting leaks because what it is people have found audio logs. So people have said it's coming in season 1. People have said it's coming in season 2 and 3. But supposedly, we are getting the Justice League members back. In the game, we've also been introduced to the Elseworlds possibilities, meaning going to a different universe could lead to us getting a new Flash, a new Green Lantern, a new Superman, all of these various characters. But if, in fact, we did not actually kill the Justice League, why would Rocksteady hide this? Well, that's part of the modern day gaming problem when you look at live service games. What is possibly going on here is Rocksteady, and bear in mind, this is all my theory. I don't want you guys to be like, Benny figured it out, and then it doesn't happen and you're all mad at me. This is my theory. But if you're a fan of Destiny, Destiny came out with an expansion, and then 6 months later on the live service elements finally revealed what the Veil is. The Veil was the entire MacGuffin to the stupid expansion. And everyone wanted to know what the Veil was. And we didn't find out for 6 months later. And the reveal sucked, by the way. If you're a Destiny fan, I'm sure you're all sitting there being like, yeah, it was terrible. But the same thing happens in the game Fortnite. Fortnite kicks off a season, somebody's invading the island, some weird crossover's happening, and by the way, we have a dance party and Solid Snake showing up. And as the season goes on, they begin to reveal what actually happened and how people are here and what is going on. I feel like that's what Rocksteady might be doing. In the core game, you do exactly what the title stated. You kill the Justice League. And then as the narrative goes on, we can start to reveal things. We can start to do it. The core of the game has nothing to do with the Justice League beyond killing them. The core of the game is 4 Suicide Squad members learning what friends and family are and how they can team up to accomplish a goal that is nearly impossible. It's very Guardians of the Galaxy style, where it's like, we're a team and together we can do even destroy Superman. Like, that's what it is. So throwing in another narrative about the Justice League actually not being dead and actually being alive, that would kind of derail the story they were trying to tell, which was the Suicide Squad can come together to be heroes at the end of the day, saving the planet by working together. That's the narrative. That's what they want to tell. You don't want to remove that narrative, because if you reveal that the Justice League is actually alive by the end of the game, that will now be our focal point. We're not going to care what happened to the Suicide Squad. The internet's going to blow up about, oh my God, they did this and then they revealed it at the ending. But if you reveal it as a seasonal storyline, which I know people who don't like games as a service or live service games hate, but if you reveal it as a year-long seasonal storyline, that can now become the new narrative of the story. You know, we're going into the Elseworlds and we found other versions of the Justice League. Or we have gone into the Elseworlds and we've discovered that the League is actually up in Brainiac's ship, just hiding out up there. So what I'm getting at is, my current theory, as much as I love the current existing game and the current existing storyline, is that we didn't actually kill the Justice League. I feel like we're going to get back the Flash, Green Lantern, Superman. I feel like there was probably a plot to bring back Batman, but with the passing of Kevin Conroy, we're probably going to leave it as is, or they're just going to say he got up and left. Like, I don't think they're going to recast Batman. But you could then focus on how do we revive Wonder Woman, and then we have a whole plot about that. And that becomes the running narrative of the plots. Because if you look at what they're hinting at for the seasons, it's we need to go to an Elseworlds and kill a Brainiac. That sounds kind of lame. The overall story I enjoyed, but if your seasons are going to be 13 seasons of me chasing down Brainiac, that's a problem. I'm not going to find that interesting. But if it's seasonal content of like, the Flash is alive, we got to go get him out. Green Lantern is alive and up in space, we got to go get him. Like, that could be the narrative. That could be what hooks people back in. Now, here's the other problem. I have no idea how well Rocksteady's game sold, but according to Steam numbers, it's not looking good. So I hope they resolve this story in the next year, and I hope we keep going, because I really enjoy the game. But I hope we at least get this story completed. I want at least give me if it doesn't go past a year, maybe 2, my theory is minimum, we're getting 2 years. Because if Avengers can last 2 years, why couldn't Suicide Squad? We'll see. That's the other problem with live service games, because if this game completely tanks, no matter how much fun I'm having with it, we're not going to conclude the story. Okay, it's just not going to happen. So I really hope the game turns this all around and the Steam numbers mean nothing. But we'll find out, won't we? That's exactly what we're going to do. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really enjoyed making this. If you're like Benny, I just wanted another full story. That's what you're supposed to put out Mondays. It was a little bit of a change today because of Suicide Squad, but we do have an entire channel focused on full story videos. Comic Story and Full Story, I will link it down below. It comes out twice a week. We do a rerun, and we're starting to pump out new full stories that aren't on Comic Storian. I refer to it as Classic Comic Storian. That's kind of what it is. But we call it Comic Storian Full Story because who the hell's going to Google Classic Comic Storian? And please check out my new channel where I get to do more of these rants because we're going to spin that off into its own thing as well. And don't forget to check out Gamer Subs. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and I will see you next time right here at Comic Storian.